All right, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to our Red Ribbon Games Put Prevention in Your Game community meeting. And my name is David Escovedo from Mental Health Systems, North Inland Substance Use Prevention. We're so glad that you clicked on this link and that you're watching this video today because we have some exciting news to talk about. The month of October is just around the corner. We know that football season is kicked off and school sports are starting now. And so this is for you. If you clicked on this, this is specifically for you. And so we're glad that you joined us this today, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night that you clicked on this video. We want to thank you again. And I just want to introduce my team. You see, we have my program manager here, Ron Stark. We have Miriam Padilla. She is our prevention specialist here at North Inland Substance Use Prevention. And my coworker, also Mimi Van Conette. She is a community organization specialist, as I am as well. And today we just want to talk a little bit about Red Ribbon Games, putting prevention in your game, not just in your games, but in your school, in your at your homecoming dances, at your prom. We want prevention messaging to be spread out throughout your school, to the parents, to your students, to your staff. And we believe that is such a great opportunity for you and I to partner together, for us to partner together to battle against drugs and alcohol in our community. And we can team up. We can team up with the athletes. We can team up with the students in this Red Ribbon Game project. So I'm going to pass it off to Ron really quick. Ron, maybe you can give us a little bit of background, a little bit of history of these Red Ribbon Games.
Well, thank you for that, David. And as a matter of fact, this has gone back. Actually, our first Red Ribbon game was in 2018, but it had been a concept for over a year to have prevention messaging in school activities, dances, etc., the sporting event, anywhere where students and their parents and the community assembled to watch them play their games, that we would include prevention messaging, substance use prevention messaging, in order to get the word out of the school and into the community and to the parents. Around 2018 was our first game. It was with Mission Hills and San Marcos High Schools here in San Diego County. And they teamed up to, the concept was that we would have decals on the back of the helmets, and the home team would present decals to the visiting team, and the cheerleaders and the bands and the spectators in the audience, and that they would tip off at the tip or at the coin toss at the beginning of the game. It would start with something to the effect of, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're so happy that you're here to watch these two teams battle it out on the field. But after the game, they're going to team up to battle against alcohol and drugs in their communities and their school and elsewhere in the county." And so the idea of opponents teaming up for a single cause, and that's to prevent illegal and underage access to drugs and alcohol. And so when we went to that, it was a long time. Mimi Van Conette, our one of our community organization, this was really her idea from the very beginning, and she was so passionate about it. Mimi, can you tell us some of the first times that you and how you finally got the attention of one coach at one time to actually take this on?
Well, that was funny, hard, and I just can't believe that but I had to have it done. So I was driving home from work, and I saw the San Pascual high school football team. They were outside doing some exercises and jumping back and forth, and I says, "Oh, I think I saw the coach." So I pull over, I park, and I run, and to them, and because I was a stranger, I was just kind of hoping that the guy stops everything and talks
That
to
was
me.
on the football field. You were running across the football field in the
Yes, to reach to him. So he finally talked to me because he's so busy. Sometimes you can just talk to coaches but finally we talked, and I explained to him real quick what it was. And I said, Valley Center is all prepare for doing this, and you need the helmets. I need to know, I mean, the stickers, and I need to know how many players you have. So, and then he started talking to me, and we start communicating on emails because he knew who I was.
Yeah, I recall you saying when you ran across the field, you were waving and hollering, and you were in high heels.
Yes,
and
I
so
wasn't prepared at all.
it was, well, and we really didn't have a real clear concept. We knew what we wanted, but we didn't have it really fabricated in a way that it was deliverable. And then one of the key things after they said, yeah, that's a great idea, and we started doing it, our media specialist, Ann Moss, put together an information sheet. And David, would you bring that up so Mimi can talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I have it coming up right here, right now. Give me 1 second.
That's the Red Ribbon Games 21 PDF.
Yeah, that piece of information helped a lot because it organizes and show you what is needed.
And it
I don't
puts
know if it's easy to see.
some substance around what we were trying to explain a little bit. And could you go through each of these, just really take a half a minute or so on each one of them to talk about that? And David will scroll through them for you.
Can you say that again?
David's going to make that bigger so we can see it. And then we want you to talk about the details as he scrolls through it. Just about a half a minute on each section.
Yeah, okay, so I can't really see it, but so what we do is we provided in this case this vinyl, and it's in a special vinyl. They need to be as a sticker for the helmet, for the helmets, and then we give those in advance to the team, and we give those to the coach, and after we confirm how many they need. And sometimes they wanted to include JV and the varsity, and some schools not. So so then we in the bottom is another type of stickers, that those are for the cheerleaders, because the cheerleaders are going to present all these ribbons to the other cheerleaders team. And it's a really nice opportunity for a lot of pictures. Several schools had pictures taken, and a lot of them went to the yearbook, which is a very nice thing for them to remember forever.
Then there were some school activities too, right?
Yes.
Can you up to that, David, a little bit so we can get that in the center of the screen? There you go.
Yeah, and so we invite KUSI and other reporters. That's done with our media specialist. She does that. Then we try to we went to the elementary schools. Actually, the ASB kids went to the elementary schools to invite them over, because it was the whole month was Red Ribbon for the whole district. and Valley Center. So, but I think all the districts are all the same.
Right, and
And
we prepared some, this really started around the social host ordinance to let people know about hosting alcohol parties, and then it kind of morphed into marijuana being included, and we had for Pete's sake, not every student uses alcohol and drugs. And then here's step one through the game. That it was San Pasqual and Fallbrook teaming up together to remind you that Red Ribbon Week is coming in 2 weeks, and urge you to participate in alcohol and drug prevention. And that took that out of the school assemblies and got it out to the general public. And then you can see, and folks can read on there, that we had prevention messaging. We had prevention messaging each quarter besides at the beginning of the game. And so that really spread the word about don't supply it if they can't buy it. Are you kidding me? Well, what to say when someone asks you to buy them booze or pot? Are you kidding me? No way. It's so not worth it. And these were going out not only by the announcers, the regular announcer, but also some of the student announcers were actually doing the prevention messaging. And then to advance it, there was social media, hashtags, like you said, ASB, the players and cheerleaders, and it became a real deal. I mean, the schools started to get so excited about it, we couldn't keep up with them. There were several schools, we'll get to the who there in a little bit, but then there was media coverage, and then things that were needed ahead of time was the game date, copy of the school logos, and things like that. But right now, David, I was wondering if you'd take a little bit of time and bring up that video. Make sure you share the sound, and go ahead and let the audience see that.
Two San Marcos high schoolers went the extra mile tonight to talk to their peers about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs.
NBC7's Gabby Rodriguez tells us how they took advantage of Friday night lights to get their message across.
The stands are full this year for the highly anticipated rivalry game between San Marcos and Mission Hills High Schools. The perfect opportunity to drive home the point about Red Ribbon Week, this year focusing on underage drinking. Tonight's football game will be accompanied by a sobering message. To close off Red Ribbon Week, San Marcos and Mission Hills High Schools will be focusing on the issue of underage drinking. A big part of the effort to get the word out, members of the Youth Advocacy Coalition at Mission Hills High School. For some in the group, this cause has a personal connection.
A lot of people bring alcohol to school and it just doesn't end up right. A lot of fights end up happening because of that.
Well, I've had many friends that have taken drugs and alcohol, and I've seen them, you know, what it leads them to, what it changes them to, and it's really changing because you see what drugs really has an impact on their lives and their lives and families around them.
In support of the Red Ribbon Week event, the players, the coaches, and even the referees are sporting that red ribbon on their uniforms. In San Marcos, Gabby Rodriguez, NBC7.
Thank you, David. That should give you an idea, folks, of what kind of publicity you can get. One of the things is Pigskin Review on Friday night. You might have a particular newscast come out to your school and actually promote your school and its athletics and that. And so, David, if you could kind of go through the list of all of the schools so far that, I mean, this is as we recall it. We might have missed one, but as we recall it, these are the ones, and you could even bring that up on the screen if you want, of high schools that have participated in a Red Ribbon game over the last 3 years. Now, last year we didn't have any because sports got kind of shut down in 2020, but this is in 2018 and 2019, and then we're hoping to tee that up again now.
Yeah, so we just want to give a special shout out to San Marcos High School and Mission Hills They were actually, like Ron said earlier, their first school that put on a Red Ribbon game. We saw that there in the news report, and it was such an awesome game. And I think that was the target for us in the very beginning stages, was the rivalry games. But as this began to build traction, more schools wanted to be involved and be a part. And we just want to give a special shout out to all the schools that have participated in a Red Ribbon football game. Like I said, San Marcos and Mission Hills. We want to give a special shout out to Fallbrook, and I'll circle back to them in just a moment. And then San Pasqual, Valley Center, La Costa Canyon, who's actually going to be starting to do their games on their own. Classical Academy, Orange Glen High School, Escondido High School, Army Navy, Poway, Rancho Bernardo, and Ramona. Those are all schools that have participated or hosted a Red Ribbon football game. And really quick, if I can, Ron, just circle back to Fallbrook, because Fallbrook, they're doing something very special this year, and they've actually chosen to put prevention messaging in their sports this year. And so they've adopted this policy, and they're going to implement it in a few sports of their choosing this year to have like, we don't even have to be there. They just said, we're going to do this because our community needs to hear this information. Our community needs to know this information. And, you know, we want to partner up with our students, with our athletes, and with our community to make it a better place for us all, for all of us to live in. And so we really respect and we really thank Fallbrook for taking this Red Ribbon game and adopting that into their schools.
Yeah, that's so important. Mission Hills and San Marcos was the first game that we had, and it got a lot of press. But along the way, there were others. I think San Pasqual has the record for participating in the most Red Ribbon games, particularly because they're the rival team. They're the ones that everybody wants to beat because they're a tough team. And when they show up, it becomes a rival game wherever they are, because they were at that time. I don't know this year, but they were the team to beat. We've had Escondido, we've had Poway, Rancho Bernardo, and then, like you said, the real idea is that it's no longer us, but it's the community and the schools doing this on their own and making this part of the culture of their school. It's so important that when the culture changes, or we call it social norming, that it actually becomes the schools asking us for a little help, a little bit of guidance, and less, and then they become the mentors of other schools and have their own Red Ribbon game. So anything else we need to go over there, David?
No, I think we've kind of mentioned it all. I just want to make ourselves available, like you did, Ron, for any questions that your schools may have. I mean, any concerns, and you know, it seems like it is a big deal. It's a big project, but it's not as much work as you think it is. There's some schools that have taken this on already on their own, running with it. La Costa Canyon gave me a call and they said, hey, we're going to do these. Is there anything in particular we need? I gave them a list of stuff, just as I would do to your school, and they run with it. You know, we'll be there to support you all. We have youth groups throughout the North Inland region that would love to support your youth groups, your student clubs, your student leadership clubs, your ASBs, and show them how to get these games and these prevention messages in your sporting games and school activities. And you guys would just run with it. And that's what's going to be the amazing part, is when school after school after school just takes this in, internalizes it, and makes it their own.
Yeah, that's so important. And like David said, we have youth groups around the substance use prevention youth groups, which we call the Youth Advocacy Coalition. And they will come in and talk to your students, your ASB, let them know, give them a little demo. Miriam Padilla is on the call here. She heads up our Youth Advocacy Coalition group in Escondido. David and Mimi tag team the Youth Advocacy Coalition groups in San Marcos and Fallbrook. And then we have a burgeoning group out in Ramona. They call it themselves the Toros. And I can't remember what they call their group, but do you remember the name of their group called themselves?
Yeah. The Taras, no, I don't remember.
Yeah, anyways, but the Toros, Valley Center, we're hoping to expand to other ones and just make this a real movement where we're making prevention messaging go viral. You know, we know the value of a movement and how that sweeps across. It started here in the North Inland region, and it's going to expand to points elsewhere. David, I think you have a call to action there.
Yeah, so after all this, if this is just a bunch of mumble jumble for you, what we're asking that you do, what we're really calling you to do as a school, as a community member, as a partner, is to host Red Ribbon Games. Not only host Red Ribbon Games, but to put prevention messaging include prevention messaging in all announced school activities and sporting events. That could be your football games, your baseball games, your basketball games, your swim meets, your wrestling meets. It could be your prom, your homecoming, anything that your school does. We want to encourage you to put prevention messaging in your sport, in your events, in your activities. Why? Because we see that we can go to do school assemblies and get the information to the students, or we can go to a staff meeting and get the information to your staff. We can host an after school activity and have this information to the parents, but why not do it at the sports? Why not have it at your activities where the parents, the staff, and the students and the athletes are all there at one time, and we can reach our community as a whole? That's our call of action to host a Red Ribbon Game and include prevention messaging in your school sports and in your school activities.
Yeah, David, you're so right that at those sporting events, there are thousands of people that are attending them that wouldn't otherwise hear what the school thinks is important. And we find it's much better to prevent than to recover. We would rather prevent a tragedy with drugs and alcohol than to have to come in and intervene and help recover from that. We know recovery and treatment is vital, but we'd rather prevent it altogether. I think with all the games, I think it's been about 8 or 9 actual Red Ribbon games we've had, and we estimate that the prevention messaging, because it's each quarter and at the beginning, that we've had probably over a million prevention messages go out at Red Ribbon games. And your game could add to that total and make a difference in your community so that they know what's important to your school. If prevention is important to your school, we know you'll do the right thing and include prevention messaging in all your school activities. And if one of you want to push that up to the school board and make it a district-wide, we'd be glad to help you with that as well. So, David, I think we're ready to wrap up. Any last minute word, Miriam? Anything word of encouragement you have for us?
No, Ron, you just said everything there is to say. Just schools, let's do it.
Yeah, you're right, but there is no limit to how much you can prevent, and prevention is hard work, but we've heard it said a stitch in time saves nine, and an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We want you to be able to prevent this stuff so you can go on to the highest quality sports activities and school impact that you possibly can. Mimi, do you have anything?
No, I just wanted everybody encourage the parents to support this, and I hope that if you have any questions, just contact us. We help you out. We can come over and train your team, whoever you want. We had ASB kids working with us, but also we have the SAT team in another school, and another school have ambassadors. And whoever it is you want us to work, we could do that. We can come over and talk to them, and you'll be fine. But do it, and it's fun. It would be really nice if we can just have more schools, more.
You bring up something else, is we don't turn down help, and neither should you when it comes to making your school better. David, you want to wrap us up and close us out?
All right. Well, again, we just want to thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video, to click on this link. We hope to hear back from you. We're expecting to hear back from you and partnering with you to make our community a better place for our youth, for our families. for the people that live here. Again, we thank you so much. Have a great day.
If we don't hear back from them, we're going to contact them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, I run after you.
We'll send Mimi in her high heels to come get you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And we appreciate you. We can't wait to partner with you this year. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.